Hi everyone. In today's class, I am going to work out another problem in not-for-profit organization. Let me read out the problem and then explain and work it out. What is given in the problem is they have given us receipts and payments account and they ask us to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet for the year ended 31st March 2019. In the receipt side, it starts with opening cash balance and ends with closing cash in hand. Below the opening cash, they have given all the receipts. We should identify what are all the capital receipts and revenue receipts. Only the revenue receipts should be taken to the income and expenditure account. All the capital receipts will have to be shown in the liability side, either in the liability side or sometimes it will have to be subtracted from the respective assets in case sale of asset. Sale of asset is a capital receipt. Below the opening cash, they have given subscriptions. Subscriptions for the year 2018-19, 12,500, 19-20, 400. We are preparing final accounts for 18-19 only. So this amount will appear in the income and expenditure account, income side of the income and expenditure account. Then proceeds from entertainment. This is an income. This should be shown in the income side. Then sundry receipts. Sundry receipt also is an income. If we come to the payment side, furniture 15,000. We should see similar to receipts. We should see what are all the capital payments and revenue payments. Only the revenue payments should be shown in the expenditure side. All the capital payments should be shown in the asset side, or sometimes repayment of any liability will appear in the liability side by subtracting from the respective liability. Furniture 15,000. Furniture is an asset. This will appear in the current year balance sheet. Stationery 2,400. We should see whether there is any additional information related to stationery. In this problem they have given. Then we should calculate or find out the actual amount consumed during the year. Then investment 12,500. This is an asset. Postage is an expenditure. Then finally they have given cash in hand. This is the current year asset. This will appear in the asset side. Whereas opening cash in hand will appear only in the opening balance sheet. If we need to calculate the capital fund, then this amount will be used. Below the receipts and payments account, they have given some additional information. There are 450 members, each paying annual subscription of rupees 30. See, if you multiply 450 into 30 rupees, we will get 13,500. This is the amount to be received. Should have received during the current financial year, whereas we have received only 12,500. So the remaining 1,000 should be treated as an outstanding. Then, and we should treat accordingly. Then stock of stationery on 31st March 2018. 31st March 2018 means previous year closing stock rupees 300, and on March 31st 2019 rupees 500. 31st March 2019 is the current year. By adjusting the value opening and closing with the current year payment, we can calculate the stationery consumed during the year. Then finally they have given capital fund. If this amount is not given, we should calculate. In this problem they have given the capital fund for preparing the balance sheet. Finally they have asked us to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Let us see how to solve this problem. And one more thing, the subscription given for 2019-20 is 400. This is not the current year subscription. This is the subscription received in advance. This is for subsequent year or next year. This will not appear in the current year income and expenditure account. This will appear only in the current year balance sheet in the liability side. This would be treated as a liability until the due date arrives. Now we are going to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Right? This is the heading, income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2019. This is a ledger account. Income and expenditure account is a ledger account. In the left top corner, we should write debit. This is debit side. Left hand side, debit side. In the right top corner, we should write CR. Right side is credit side. we are going to record all the expenses and losses in the debit side. This side is called expenditure side. Credit side is called income side. We are going to record all the incomes and gains. First we should see, right? All the expenses must be debited, all expenses and losses must be debited, incomes and gains must be credited in the income and expenditure account. In the receipt side, they have given subscription. Subscription is the core income of not-for-profit organization. Subscription is the core income of not-for-profit organization. This will appear in the credit side or income side of income and expenditure account. They have given 12,500. 12,500. Then we should see whether there is any, even below the subscription, for 18-19, 12,500. For we are preparing accounts for 18-19, so we have shown it in the inner column as there is some additional information related to that. And even in the receipt side, they have given 19-20. 19-20 means we have received, the club has received a advance subscription. Subscription received in advance. It will not affect the current year income and expenditure. It cannot be treated as current year income. It should be treated as liability. Whenever some amount is received in advance, it should be treated as liability until the due date arises or until the next period for which the amount is received. So 19-20, 400 will not affect the current year income and expenditure account. Below the receipts and payments account, they have given some additional information. There are 450 members, each paying annual subscription of rupees 30. So there are 450 members. For your sake of understanding, here I write 450 members. Each member must pay 30 rupees as subscription. If you multiply this, you will get 13,500. So the amount to be collected from the members, from the 450 members is 13,500. 450 into 30 rupees, the total amount to be received is 13,500. Actually, we have received only 12,500 in the current financial year. So, by subtracting 12,500 from 13,500, we can understand that still we have to collect 1,000 rupees or 1,000 rupees is the outstanding subscription of the current year. Outstanding subscription of the current year is 1,000. So 12,500 plus 1,000 is equal to 13,500. Then proceeds from entertainment. Proceeds from entertainment is the income. Proceeds from entertainment is the income. Whatever is recurring during the year should be debited and credited in the income and expenditure account. Recurring in the sense it will happen again and again in the particular organization or the life of which will be less than 1 year. Already I have explained about this in the concept of income and expenditure account itself. So proceeds from entertainment is the income of the particular club. Subscription is the core income. This is the basic income by which the club will function. Then sundry receipts. Sundry receipts 500 rupees. Whenever we record the receipts, income or expenses, we should see whether there is any additional information related to the transactions we are recording, right? If there is any additional information, then we should see whether it should be added with or subtracted from. Accordingly, we should present the details. There is no other particular in the receipt side to be presented in the income side. Then if we come to payment side, furniture is the asset, already I explained. Stationery 2,400. See, whenever they have given some additional information related to stationery, we should calculate the amount of stationery consumed during the year. Amount of stationery consumed during the year. Stationery consumed is the heading. This is like a format, but you should understand the logic behind this, right? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. First, let us fill the values and then I explain. Opening stock, in the additional information they have given stock of stationery on 31st March 2018, 300. This is opening stock. Stock of stationery, I have written here. Opening stock is 300. Opening stock is 300. Purchase made during the year is 2400. Opening stock is 300. Purchases made during the year is, anyhow the total will not change, right? Opening stock of stationery is 300. This is given in the additional information. Opening stock 31st March 2018 means previous year closing stock will become the opening stock for the current year. Opening stock of stationery 300. During the year, in the payment side they have given 2400. This is the actual purchase made during the year, right? Then finally closing stock on 31st March 2019, current year end. The club is having 500 rupees worth of stationery in the club. So opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock is equal to consumption. If you want to understand the logic, in the beginning of the year, the club is having 300 rupees worth of stationery in the club. During that year, further, the club has purchased for 2400 rupees. Initially, in the beginning of the financial year, the club was having 300. During that year, on various dates, the club has purchased totally for 2400. So the total amount of stock stationery available in the club during that year was 2700. At the end of the year, they come to know that they have only 500 worth of stationery in the stock. Only 500 worth of stationery in the stock. So this is the data available. By subtracting this, we can understand the difference between these two values is the actual consumption. 2700 was available. They come to know that they have only 500 rupees in stock at the end of the year. So the difference between these two values is actually consumed during that year. 2700 minus 500, 2200. I have worked out a separate problem with a different perspective. If you have any doubt, you can watch my previous video. If you want to learn more, right? 300 plus 2400, opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock will give us the actual consumption. Then, if you see the payment side, investment is the asset. Postage is the expenses. We should see whether it is a capital expenditure or revenue expenditure or capital receipt or revenue receipt. Only the revenue. Here we don't need to use the word revenue, recurring expenses, right? Postage is the expenses, it is debited. Postage is the expenses, this is debited. Cash in hand, closing cash in hand is the asset, right? Then we should see whether there is any additional information to be shown separately here. Nothing is here. We have included everything in the income and expenditure account. Then we should see in which side the total amount is high. Roughly, if you see in the credit side, 13,500, 12,000, here very meager amount is here. So we should total the credit side first. The total of credit side is 26,000. Write the same total in the opposite side here. In the debit side, 26,000. Then you subtract the remaining values from this total. All the values from 26,000, then you'll get 22,800. 22,800. Income is more, right? Income is more. So that you are getting the balance here. You are having the balance here. The balance should be called as surplus, right? Income is more. That is why we write excess of income over expenditure. Income is more, so that you are writing excess of income over expenditure. Over expenditure. More than the expenses, right? We have got income. Income is more. Then we are going to prepare balance sheet. After preparing the income and expenditure account and calculating the surplus or deficit, we should proceed further to balance sheet. Balance sheet as on 31st March 2019. Whenever you write the heading, due to space constraint, I did not write those things. In the books of Salem Recreation Club, you write above this line. In the books of Salem Recreation Club. Then in the next line, you should write this heading. Even here, before writing the balance sheet, in the previous line, you should write in the books of Salem Recreation Club. We are recording all the transaction in the books of Salem Recreation Club. Balance sheet as on 31st March 2019, left side. This is a statement. This is not a ledger account. so that we are writing always as on. Balance sheet as on 31st March 2019. Left hand side liabilities. In the right side we are going to record all the assets. First again we should see right from all the receipts one by one. Opening cash in hand will not affect the current year income and expenditure account and balance sheet, because opening cash in hand will be used only for preparing the opening balance sheet. In case capital fund is not given in the problem, then we will have to use the money, use the opening cash in hand or cash at bank. Here this will not affect. Then subscription is the income, already we have taken. Proceeds from entertainment is the income. Sundry receipts are the income, already we have taken. So nothing is to be shown in the liability side from the receipt side. Then if you come to the payment side, furniture is the asset. Furniture 15,000. Whenever you record each transaction, you should see whether there is any additional information related to the particular transaction. Here nothing is given in the additional information related to furniture. So we can write the amount in the outer column. Sometimes depreciation may be there, or we might have sold some furniture, or we would have purchased some more furniture. Everything should be adjusted with the opening amount. Furniture is 15,000. Investment, here we should see stationery already we have taken. Then investment 12,500. There is no additional information related to investment, so we have written the amount in the outer column. Then postage is the expenditure. Cash in hand is the asset. 31st/3/2019. Whatever is available in the business on 31st/3 is the asset. Right? Cash in hand 3,500. Opening cash in hand will not affect the current year account. Right? Already I have explained. Then we should see the additional information. There are 450 members each paying annual subscription of rupees 30. Right? Here we added this money. We added outstanding subscription 1,000. The amount to be received is an asset. So it must be shown in the asset side. Amount to be received. Still till the end of the year, the club has not yet received. Till the end, the club has not received 1,000 rupees. Outstanding subscription or subscription in arrears 1,000. Then stock of stationery. Closing stock of stationery is the asset. Current year closing is the asset. 31st March 2019 is the asset. Opening stock of stationery will not affect this account except this calculation. Except the calculation of stationery consumed. We should not show it in any other places. If you need to prepare opening balance sheet, then the opening stock of stationery will be used. Here there is no need for it. So stock of stationery 500. Then capital fund. If you come to the liability side, capital fund 9,300. Then we should add the surplus or deficit. Here surplus, we have calculated the surplus. If it is a surplus, it must be added with the capital fund. If there is deficit, it must be subtracted. Here we have the surplus. Add surplus 22,800. If you add these two values, you will get 32,100. Then anything else is there. In the receipt side of the receipts and payments account, they have given one more particular related to subscription. 2,000 subscription for 2019-20, 400 rupees. This is not available in the additional information. Usually advance subscription will be available only in the receipt side of the receipts and payments account. From that only we should identify the advance receipt. Advance receipt of subscription 400 rupees. Subscription received in advance 400 rupees. Subscription received in advance 400 rupees. This amount is taken from the receipt side of the receipts and payments account. This is received in advance until the next year commence or next due date for receiving this money commence. This should be treated as liability. This amount should be treated as liability. Here arrear subscription is the outstanding subscription is the asset. Any amount which is not yet collected till 31st/3 is the asset. Any amount which is collected for the future period is the liability. After recording, after ensuring whether we have recorded all the transactions in the assets and liability side, we should total the amount, we should get the equal amount in both sides, right? If you total this, you will get 32,500. Then we can understand we have properly followed the duality principle, because there may be some mistakes even after following the duality principle. Those things I'll explain when I work out some problems in rectification of errors. Right here, I hope that you all would have understood this. If you like this video, kindly subscribe and share this video to your friends and relatives and turn on the bell notification, then only you'll get notified. See you in the next class.